link inside the description?
Okay. No, not yet. I am working on... other things. Hold on. Oop. Fuck. Should have done that, but whatever. We'll fix that later. But file, make a copy. So, dude, could someone please tell me if there is music playing on the whatchamacallit, on the stream right now? Anyone, please.
This time is the right time. Got hope and the lights are shining bright. So bright.
File.
This crowd is on fire.
Share the link.
You know what's funny?
Sound is a million miles away.
Okay, so the format is in the format is in the format is in, I just posted it.
This world is a door. You are the lock. My heart is the key. Set me free.
And now it's in the description.
I be lost, and I shall be found.
Someone please tell me if we are streaming live.
I shall be lifted so high off the ground and fall with the force so true and profound. And it will be over, and it will be worth it.
No, really, will someone please tell me if we're streaming live?
What's that?
Time is the right time. All your hope and your heart is mine to take. And I'll take
West.
I can see your desire, enshrouded by selfless, mindless brain. I gave you the choice, you wouldn't walk, and I'm not to blame. Know my name.
Good. Okay, so here is
by darkness profound,
the embedding.
Shall be lifted so high
Dog.
off the ground and fall with a force true and profound.
Dog, that's right here. Wait, no,
Yeah, and you shall be lost by darkness profound. Then you shall be lifted so high off the ground and fall with a force true and profound. And now that it's so built to work.
Oh, just get rid of that smiley face as a concerned frowny face. Why the fuck would they put emojis in that? I have no idea.
Alright, yeah, you're playing music.
Cool. Here we go. Put us in west. Ready to go? Everybody here? Question mark? We're still putting in stuff.
All right, you're up in West.
Okay. Did it for a minute.
A tower of power that reached into the sky.
Get ready to switch to us.
Arms raised in victory, you were a god to all unwavering eyes. Well, I heard that you died
Going to leave West.
in the middle of the night.
Click out of this. Click
You
out of
stepped
this.
off of the stage,
Much
gave up your
possibly
spine,
can.
but you couldn't shake the
Okay.
light.
So we're up in
But
West.
the show must go on. Yeah, the show must go on. Even when time takes
Oh,
what
Jesus.
you love, the show must go on. They hooked you to the harness, but the harness wouldn't hold. And you fell from the sky like rays of the sun into the darkness and the cold. Now everybody wants to blame. We try to cover up their scars, but it hurts us every day. We'll never see your name written out among the stars. But the show must go on. But the show must go on.
Alright.
Even when pain takes what you love, the show must go on. Yeah, the show must go on. Yeah, the show must go on. Even when time takes what you love, the show must go on. The best in the world, but we didn't read the signs. And the pills and the falls you took every night, they tore apart your mind. And now you're a monster, and nobody says your name. And where once there was pride, where once there was love, then now is only shame. But the show must go on. Yeah, the show must go on. Even when madness takes what you love, the show must go on. Yeah, the show must go on. The show must go on. Even when time takes what you love, the show must go on.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode number 203 of Smark Snark. My name is Gunner. There is not going to be any theme music tonight because Yankum is not here. So I'm spinning the ones and twos.
God help us all.
Yep.
I know, right? At least it's not Manchester. Joining us this week.
God, no.
Joining us this week, it's Omega BR.
I was expecting blues and twos.
I figured as much. But that's not happening today. What about we also have with us this week Vassar.
I love you, West, but apparently you hate me.
No, no. I believe that the donkey lips in question that was the croc.
Hey, it's cool. That means I'm doing my job. What's up?
I'm not sure exactly how you're doing your job. Save a stock.
Donkey lips is actually just a term of affection. Just take it like that. I mean,
We figured as
frankly, you
much.
should see what we call the people we like.
Oh god. Oh god. All right, so we're gonna start with something pretty standard here. We're gonna start with the news. Pop TV will no longer air the Impact replays on Tuesday nights, instead moving it to Saturday morning at 11:30 a.m. Reportedly, Pop is happy with TNA's numbers so far, and the move is to test to see if a secondary show could air on the weekend. So, the return of Saturday Morning Wrestling? We haven't seen Saturday Morning Wrestling since Saturday Morning Slam. What do you guys think of this?
No. Mm-mm.
If it was anyone but TNA, I would be happy, but it's just a replay of Impact.
Well, what if it becomes a... Do they even have enough of a roster for a secondary show?
Have about 20 to 30 people, right? Almost 40, maybe?
They have 30 people on their roster, at last check.
30. That's stretching it. That's stretching thin.
It's already pretty stretched thin.
Well, I think, they could always have their own version of NXT where they get, Mass Transit versus Cheeks in the main event.
Oh, dear Lord.
Ooh, that sounds like a fucking match in the making.
It sounds exactly like what's going to be on that a secondary show, if TNA ever has a secondary show. But speaking of TNA...
Well,
go ahead.
Do they still air Explosion, or did that end?
That ended.
That's aired in international.
Okay.
That's aired in international markets, though. The only thing is, so they removed the replay of it. They're going to put a movie in there instead, and they're quoting, "We're testing out the waters." Come on now. It's okay. Just come out and say it. If you don't like the... Because I know that, like, for the past couple of weeks, the replay has been shit in ratings, so... If they're trying to just subtly move it off, maybe this is the start of that.
Maybe, we'll see. But speaking of TNA headquarters are moving from the Cummins Station offices to the 20,000 square foot Shop TNA warehouse. The Observer suggested that TNA was evicted from their offices, but one company source said the lease has expired and the move was planned for a while. So basically, it's not that you can't stay here. It is that you can't stay here. That's what I meant. I ruined my own joke.
It's okay.
They went from like a low budget, like shopping complex sort of thing to a warehouse. That's interesting. That's one way to save money, I guess.
The warehouse is in between a junkyard and what looks to be a cracked-in and a discount store, so they don't have to go far.
No, I mean, everybody will get their fix.
Well, their old office pretty much looked like a warehouse to begin with, so...
Well, this is so bad. I'm sorry, TNA.
I picture the neighborhood that Patty's Pub is in.
Yes, that's exactly.
I picture the. I'm actually picturing more like where the ECW arena is, like underneath an overpass, with like barren lots everywhere and that kind of thing.
Well, there's actually fast food nearby. Civilization.
Well,
Cheesesteaks.
there's probably homeless people hanging around that are just asking for change that they'll eventually try to hire.
Speaking of homeless people, Nat Chester has joined us.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
No, dear Jesus. Here he is.
Yes, I'm
okay.
here. And,
Okay, so...
Go ahead.
Alright, so in other TNA news, TNA has received a cease and desist letter last month from Ohio indie wrestler Crimson, not the same Crimson that got arrested for battery last week, but he claims that Crazy Steve with the 2 Z's and the Decay have lifted elements from his work, such as mannerisms, costumes, red mists, and face paint. So a lowly indie wrestler can take down TNA? Probably.
So I have a question for everybody. The cease and desist. They're moving to a warehouse. They dropped the replay on Pop. Out of those 3 stories, first off, not a bad one. Could have started your week better, TNA. Which one of these is the worst? Look, the worst.
Obviously, them moving into the warehouse, because their whatchamacallit isn't going away, and it's just a cease and desist. But that's not the point here. The point is that this guy is like, hey guys, you're stealing my shit. Gimmick infringement. Cease and desist. There you go, homie.
Yeah, I mean,
You're talking too much.
come on, people.
If you're talking too much, Croc.
This dude's totally the first person to wear face paint.
Oh, and to have red mist.
Yeah, and use red mist.
He's
And wear goofy coats and have a gimmick.
Who the fuck is the Great Muda?
I mean, what a stupid lawsuit. And it's just kind of sad because, like, they already have enough.
It's not even a
to deal
lawsuit.
with.
It's not even a lawsuit. It's just them sending a
Well,
cease and desist.
The idea of a cease and desist is that if they don't do it, you sue them.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they'll ever get that far.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
can't
funny to me.
imagine, but it's just like it's like a cherry on top of a shit sundae.
Yeah.
So, in other news, a week after he announced that he was working with Lucha Underground, MVP announced that his contract has been terminated due to breach of his non-disclosure agreement,
That
stemming from the
sucks.
interviews members. Stemming from interviewing members of the cast for his podcast. He admitted fault and called it a big opportunity wasted.
That blows dicks. Wow.
You're talking.
This is
Fuck.
tremendously bad.
What did he spoil?
I'd like to know that myself. I'd like to know that myself. I mean, for crying
It's not
out
the
loud.
fact that he spoiled anything. It's the fact that he had people on his podcast, and then he kind of announced it last week that he was on Lucha Underground. You're not supposed to say anything about Lucha Underground. It's kind of like Fight Club. That's kind of the.
Oh, seriously, we're going with that.
But that's
Well,
the
it
whole
kind of
point.
is.
Yeah,
Like, they have the entire crowd sign non-disclosure agreements, so why wouldn't they expect wrestlers to do the same?
exactly.
And it honestly, it adds to the product, because if you know the taping spoilers and all that stuff ahead of time, like what happens, like it's cool because everyone was going to know that MVP was going to sign with them anyway, because word was going to get out. But he didn't have to go around saying it.
Exactly. I mean, it was supposed to hold a big whatchamacallit to do because he's a big name and he deserves a shot somewhere. But c'est la vie, as they say in this world.
How long was he there?
But less than a week after Rene Dupree filed a class action lawsuit against WWE over royalties, the suit has already been dismissed by his lawyers. WWE lawyer Jerry McDevitt told The Hollywood Reporter that Dupree signed a contract in 2011 that prevents him from filing such a lawsuit, and the timing suggests he was right. RIP.
So what now? Okay, something makes me think some of our headphones aren't exactly working tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
I just have nothing to say to this.
Are you kidding?
It's disappointing is all. I mean, if the implication being that his lawyers weren't aware of this deal that he had signed, and so they pretty much dismissed it immediately because that they wanted to do it with prejudice, of course, so they could possibly refile in the future if that's the case. But it kind of makes him look bad if that's indeed the gravity of the situation.
Doesn't mean somebody else can't come and step in and do it. It just means that this lawsuit, this whole thing that we were like, haha, CM Punk was right. He left because they were going to, WWE Network and royalties and that kind of thing. We're still right about it. It's just that we need somebody that didn't sign one of those contracts. Basically. In other news about things that are pretty embarrassing, Vince and Linda McMahon were the largest donors to the Donald J. Trump Foundation from 2004 to 2014. Trump himself did not give any money to the foundation between 2009 and 2014.
What does the Donald J. Trump Foundation do, anyway?
The world has not figured that one out yet. It's probably to give people cotton candy hair.
Okay. I think that's pretty noble, and I'd like to set myself up on some sort of mailing list. But, you know.
For cotton candy hair like Donald Trump?
Oh, cotton candy hair. Oh.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I thought you said just cotton candy. So. Yeah.
No, cotton candy hair like Donald Trump.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense.
It's kind of sad that Vince McMahon donates more to the Trump Foundation than Donald Trump did.
Hey, tax write-off.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably a huge tax write-off. They might donate
Absolutely.
to the company as well, which might be a tax write-off too.
Mm-hmm. And in final news, Scott Steiner, no simpy, apparently witnessed an attempted murder at a Hardee's in Ackworth, Georgia this past week after a man chased another and shot at him following a road chase ending at the restaurant. He was interviewed by local news, and it was noted Steiner owns a Shoney's nearby. So,
I think it's really funny that Steiner owns a Shoney's.
have you seen the commercial with Steiner and Shoney's?
Actually, I've never even heard of that.
I don't think I have, actually.
Gunner, that
Okay, so-
wild.
Okay, so it's
What
Rick
is a
and
Shoney's for all those people who are not from the East Coast?
Like me.
Okay, so a Shoney's is like old country buffet, or basically it's more like a Denny's or something like that, basically.
Sort of
And
Cracker Barrel-ish.
Cracker Barrel-ish, yeah.
It's kind of like a Daryl's or
Have you ever heard of Quincy's?
a Courtney's.
Never heard of those three.
So generic cafe.
But basically,
Ca-
if you've ever heard of a restaurant that was named after a person,
Kind of, sort of.
that was it, basically. You know?
Okay, so think of it this way, right? Think of it this way: it's a diner that you can that old people go to on Sundays, and they smoke. I mean, really, that's really all it is. So,
It's all
anyway,
you can eat.
So it's
As-
Dairy Queen, or not Dairy Queen. It's Denny's.
Denny's, yes, Denny's is a good example of that too.
It's comfort food. It's pot roast and fried chicken and salad bar.
Anyways, the point of the matter is, so what happens in this commercial? It's a great commercial. Go look it up. Scott Steiner is tearing down this Shoney's because they're going to remodel it, and he and Rick Steiner confiscate this like power rig thing, like construction truck thing with a giant like scoop on the front of it, and they plow through.
Christ, this can't end well.
They plow like Rick's in the thing itself, and they plow through the wall, like tearing down the wall, and like whatchamacallit, Scott like unburies Rick from the goddamn rubble. And they're like, we gotta go to Shoney's or something like that. It's hilarious. It's great. It's worth every penny.
It is 5 seconds in. I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Exactly. All right. So that's it for news. We're gonna get into the 15-minute time limit here. Okay, 15 minutes on the clock. We're gonna talk about Raw. So Shane O'Mac was running Raw, and let me tell you something. And Dr. Phil was there too. It was pretty damn good.
Fuck Dr. Phil.
Yeah,
Fuck Dr.
His,
Phil,
his
but it's still
segments,
better when
his
it's
segments
better
were
Ross.
fine. Yeah, like he's better than most guest hosts. Still, fuck him. I hate that guy.
his segments were fine, but people who are looking to criticize the women's division will, or criticize how they handle it anyway, will immediately switch to, you went from the women's championship presentation to a segment sidelined by Dr. Phil and a finish where the referee was staring straight at a submission and called for the bell for disqualification.
Called for the bell when he could see her tapping as he was being pulled out of the ring.
I mean, literally eye level.
He was still looking at her when she was tapping, and then turned to Rick.
Still, I can understand, kayfabe-wise, that if you being yanked out of the ring, And then you see, that's a disqualification. And then you see the submission. Well, there you go. First thing is you're smacking the bitch who pulled you out of the ring with the DQ. There you go.
Well, it makes
Still
sense.
was a really messed up finish.
Yeah, it makes sense from a kayfabe perspective. It was just really poorly executed. Really.
Executed,
The
yes.
positioning was awful. He should have been, I don't know, turned the other way or something.
That was some TNA level shit.
I think it's funny that any match that TNA has had this year, at this point, in my opinion, that finish was better than any match that TNA has had at this point.
Sadly.
But all right, so the Diva segment was okay. How's Shane as like an authority figure for you guys?
I like it. I really like. Here's the reason why I like it. He has the PR mentality because he ran a very successful company, so he can go out to the crowd and he can connect to the crowd. And I feel a way that Vince can't anymore, or Stephanie for that matter.
I think he's different. I think he's not the authority, which should have ended a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big positive, but at the same time, I feel like he's not really doing anything. I think he kind of, he'll come out and make a match and give a reason for the match, but other than that, it's not like we're seeing, at least not yet, we're not seeing those certain kind of segments. The only one I can remember was with Owens, where he kind of booted Owens from the building. We're not quite seeing a lot of those types of things yet.
Well, and you say not yet. How long is he going to be doing this? Isn't he going back to his company soon?
According to the Observer, it is a week-to-week kind of thing. They're not sure when he's going to come back. I assume that they're sticking around until the pay-per-view at least, and then we'll see what happens, but we don't know yet. Fun fact, Shane's Raw had more wrestling than advertisements, and it had 14 more minutes of wrestling on a shorter show compared to a February, quote, Authority Raw.
Oh shit! Oh.
Well, that's
look
pretty
at the
damn good.
matches.
Well, they don't have the 20-minute opening promo as well.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That always helps.
Yeah, that's a good
Opening
point.
promo.
We don't need another
So
20-minute
they also
opening
finally
promo.
figured out that the worst thing you could possibly do is have Roman Reigns talk, and so he doesn't
Yes.
cut 5-minute to 10-minute boring fucking ass promos and interviews.
There you go.
Although I will say, him repeating that same line that I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a good guy, I'm the guy.
No.
It's getting old real fast. Got old after.
No. I like it. I like it. I like
the
it.
line. I hate him saying it.
No, I love him
Every
saying
time?
it. No, I love him saying it because it's such a heel thing to say. It's ridiculous. Because he's playing subtle heel here because he's going against AJ and AJ ain't gonna get booed.
You're in Chicago for payback.
This is not going to end well for Roman. I mean, that's
he's going to get booed out of the freaking house.
Well, it'll probably
So
end
you see
alright
the
because he'll
level this.
probably retain the title.
Until the Wyatts beat up AJ to help his new best buddy Roman,
Oh yeah.
and then beats up Roman because they still think that feud's a good idea for some reason.
Let me tell you something though. I really enjoyed the end of that match. The tag main event.
That was one of the screwiest things I've seen in my lifetime. Ugh.
The only way you can really keep Roman, the only way you can make Roman look good is put him in a tag match with someone else.
Kinda. It protects him a bit, but the point I'm trying to make is is him pointing to the other guy trying to interfere, and Roman spears him out of his fucking shoes. I popped for that. That was nice.
So,
So there's a couple other things. So there's a couple other things that we have to talk about before we get to the match of the night. Because obviously the match of the night was, Zayn versus AJ Styles. I mean, that's pretty freaking obvious. But the whole point of me bringing this up is how you doing? All right, listen, Devin. Listen, Devin.
Dude, I popped for that. Oh shit.
He got a talking to, unfortunately, when he got
Smark
backstage.
Snark.
But, yeah, it was nice to hear, but...
What do you mean that he got a talking to? Where are you finding this?
I mean, Vince, for crying out loud.
No, fuck, not Vince. Probably deep. Bruh, you can't say the real name.
What? No. He's not saying the real name. He's purposely mispronouncing the name, and then he got a burn in on him. How you doing?
Yeah. It's not his real name.
Devlin? Devlin?
No, that's not his real name at all. It's just him fucking up saying Devon.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Really?
And he's doing it on purpose.
Because he's
doing it on purpose,
That's how
and
they
it's
really
funny.
Oh.
Look. Nat Jester. This is humor. This is the thing that you don't understand, that Yankum yells at you about.
Sometimes.
See? Usually. I mean, more often than not. Oh, Yankum's chiming in always. Yeah. So that was fun. Another fun part of Raw was Cesaro looking like 007 over there.
I like that he's keeping the tear-off suits.
I just noticed that Yankum doesn't have a microphone right now. This is like a free pass here, but yeah, Cesaro.
No, it's not. I just kicked him for the room for you friends. You don't get a free pass today.
Funny. Anyway,
It was hilarious.
007,
But anyways,
the 007 thing is a great thing for Cesaro, and not only should he, just go with the style and all that. Hell, what's his name is out from the picture, so why don't we have him as the new James Bond?
What do you mean the app stroked out?
No,
I'm still broadcasting.
No, not the app. My app.
Oh, you fucking A.
God.
Dog.
Anyway, that match was amazing.
Yep,
Yeah.
best of the night.
Didn't Cesaro, his original theme music was kind of a play on Malenko's old music when he was
Yes.
007?
Yes.
Yeah, that's ironic. I
Just
think.
a little.
I thought tonight for me when he did that not the corkscrew, or was it the springboard uppercut? Oh my god, that was beautiful. I don't know how Cesaro does the shit he does.
I've said it before, say it now on this podcast, that he looks strikingly like Jason Statham. Like, really looks a lot like Jason Statham. It's kind of strange that they never gave him that kind of role, and they're finally doing it, and they think they can get him over with it, and maybe just maybe Vince is into him. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll see.
They're giving him all this old shit, like 007, and that old, entrance. Like, it seems like something that Vince would say, all right, he's going to be James Bond, but Swiss.
If you looked at the ending to the Raw match, you saw him jump over to the crowd, and there were a bunch of Cesaro section signs. So, I think the machine's finally getting behind him, guys.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe a little bit, because that kind of transitions over to the AJ Zane match, where the announcers said about 3 times how, we've been hearing about these guys are the greatest in the world, and they really proved it here tonight on the stage of WWE.
But the whole point of that is to say, these guys are a big deal, but they're here in the WWE now, so it's to clean their slate, basically. Is to say, all right, let's. No, I understand what you're saying. But the thing that bothered me the most.
You should ignore history.
Okay, so hold on a second. They're not ignoring history. They're just putting into Yankum has a good point. No, it's to say everything outside of WWE doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they're saying. So, but the whole point...
They said it, JBL constantly says it, when Jericho's facing whoever, I think Zayn even, or... no.
That means nothing when you're not in the big leagues.
You won titles all over the world, but you haven't won the title, that kind of stuff,
You haven't won the WWE title, you haven't won shit, Michael. He's constantly doing that, and he's constantly belittling these guys, which is what he does and what Vince is telling him to do, but it is annoying. Especially They're bringing in guys now, like brought in Carl Anderson under his real name, which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
So hold on a second. Let's talk about that here. So Bullet Club shows up, beats the fuck out of the Usos, removes the Usos.
I marked so hard.
I cannot fucking believe he gets to keep Anderson. I am like flabbergasted. I'm super happy.
Magic Killer. They kept Magic Killer. They
Yeah,
made
and that.
They made AJ change the Calf Killer, and they're letting them keep the Magic Killer.
They're still calling it the Calf Killer.
No, it's a Calf Crusher now.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the Calf Crusher.
Oh.
And
Well, it could be.
kill Owens kill. I think that was Kevin who decided to do fight Owens fight rather than kill. But
Right. The whole point.
Yeah,
They look great.
Yeah, but I couldn't help but feel like maybe it should have been last week.
It should have been last week, but somebody decided otherwise.
Yeah.
Basically.
But I like the way they debuted, because to me, at least, this felt like when Scott came out on Nitro. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. This is about to get very, very fucking interesting.
Well, yeah, that's exactly that's exactly the feelings that you were supposed to feel in that particular moment, because they were wearing plain shirts and jeans,
Mhm.
and
They were regular
the other people recognized them, and obviously, who's the third man?
Yeah.
Are we going to
Back
have a
to
third man with
Chicago.
these guys?
Yes,
I would assume.
Yes, it's going to be the Baylor Club. They're going to be called the Baylor Club. It's going to be Finn Balor and those two, and they're going to all be in their own group, and it's going to be like the Shield all over again.
Gunner, question.
What?
They go full blown. I've seen this posted a lot. I just want to go ahead and. Senses.
You
Do you think
do
they
a lot
go
of setup.
full-blown NWO with this?
pretty much. I mean, that's exactly what they're invoking. It's not going to be NWO as you know it, but it's going to be the Baylor Club, and it's going to be the spiritual successor to it. Absolutely.
Do you see AJ in it?
Yep, at some point.
No, I actually
At
don't.
some point?
I don't think he's going to be in it at all because what do you have him fill? Because that's Baylor's role.
He's not the leader.
Yeah, and it's just like if he's not the leader and he's second banana, then what have you been doing? Like, why? Yeah, why did he jump on the main roster right away? Like, it doesn't feel like there's room for both.
It doesn't mean that it isn't gonna happen, and it doesn't mean that those three are the only three that are going to be in Baylor Club.
Yeah.
That's my point. I mean, I don't see him right this very second or at the start of it all, but when they start doing all their fun stuff, they're not going to go after AJ, I think, and I think that I think it would be smart to keep all three of them, those three and AJ, apart for a long while until you need somebody else to jump in to help them.
I think they could honestly even they could have Carl and Luke. I got to get used to that now. Luke Gallows, which is definitely going to be his name going forward. They could almost have them do their own thing for like a few months before anything like that happened too.
Well, yeah, I mean that's exactly what's going to happen here. I mean it's going to be those two, and they're going to get a name, and then they're going to be their own name or whatever the hell that they want to call themselves, and then it's going to be
really cool to give them the name Bad Intentions, like him and
yeah.
Could they do that?
why not?
Yes, they could.
Easily, I'm sure.
I would just like to add that Gallows looks a hell of a lot better than he did a few years ago when he was in
Yep.
WWE.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, he wrestles a hell of a lot better than he used to all those years ago too.
Mhm.
Proud, damn straight.
Oh yeah. So they'll do.
All right, so that's it for 15 minutes. I think we went like a minute over there. That's fine though. Obviously we're really excited about Raw. Really excited where things are going. Hopefully that they can keep up their ratings the way that they are, but I think they're going to get crushed later on in the year, and I think that's the whole point of this. That they're trying to build a stronger product right now, so that when they do get crushed later in the year, it won't be so bad. But you can only do so much, and then those new Nielsen ratings are going to come out, and we'll see how that handles everything else with the Rokus and the whatnot. All right,
Which will honestly only help the WWE with those numbers.
Right.
'Cause I know a lot of people are. Who the fuck sits through a 3-hour show?
I've got to go to the door because I've got some delivery here. So somebody else do the ratings.
I think I'll take that one over as per usual.
All yours, Vassar.
And now for the ratings. Starting off as usual, TNA Impact with 272,000 viewers, down from last week's 312,000 viewers. And on to SmackDown, 2.44 million viewers, up from last week's 2.328 million viewers. And finally, Raw, 3.529 million viewers, down from last week's 4.09 million viewers. I guess Shane couldn't save him this time. Maybe if they would have announced them beforehand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they announce Shane at all?
Nope.
Before?
2 hours before the show went on air.
On social media, and that was about it.
Okay, well that's better than what I thought, because I thought that it was just unannounced.
Yeah, but if they would have announced them like a day or two beforehand, Raw probably would have gotten a better rating.
On WWE.com or something like that, exactly.
They never really announce things for Raw anymore. I remember back in the day they would have a couple matches, they would have a segment at least. I mean, they might say, you know, Triple H is gonna address the universe to start the show or something like that, but you know, that happens every week anyway, so
Yeah, pretty much with that damn 20-minute promo.
And by the way, while we have a second here, can I just comment on, and I've noticed this a lot in the past few months, but I noticed it again last night. They don't put the action on the Titantron anymore.
I don't know if that's just for certain camera angle shots or that's for the whole thing of the show.
I think it's for the whole thing because you would have to do there's a lot of quick cuts that you would have to switch it off again and again. I think they put the logo on the Tron. I just found it funny because last night I noticed that, you know, between the top Tron and the main Tron and the entrance Tron, it was like raw, you know?
I feel bad for the people in the nosebleeds, then.
Yeah, that would really suck.
Yeah, so I mean, they have, I think what it is a lot of arenas have those big scoreboards now with all the screens, and that's where the action's at. But, I don't know if they want people to, you know, stay looking at the ring and not, the camera shot where they're looking to the right to look at the Tron rather than, of course, if you're down in the camera length anyway, you should be looking at the ring. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting because they have this big, huge Tron, and I think I'm gonna have to look that up because I wonder if they even used that huge screen at WrestleMania. I think that might have been only for Trons and stuff, not the action, which would be a huge waste.
That would be a crime if they didn't use the Jerrytron for the action.
No,
But they used the Jerrytron to play video games on. It was great.
no, they used the Tron to go ahead and put crowd chants on because they were. I saw it for the New Day.
Yeah, we saw that one.
Whoa, what was that?
Rip.
You're
Rip, that was Yankum trying to talk.
Oh yeah, I think during Lesnar and Ambrose, they actually had a counter on the Jerrytron of how many suplexes had been done.
Yeah.
So where are we on this format?
We didn't go to Dairy Queen yet. We didn't even go to Dairy Queen yet.
Well, we
All right,
started
Vassar with the
thing.
Vassar.
We were
Hold on.
hanging out in the parking lot waiting for you to,
Oh, I
get
figured
20
as
bucks
much.
from
Get
your
my
money.
food.
Yeah, and then we talked about the ratings for a bit.
Okay, so all right, so we did the ratings with the birthdays. It's gonna be it's gonna be Dog.
Happy birthdays on the 13th of this month of April to Sex E. Eddie and Stan Stasiak. Stan the Man Stasiak. Happy birthday on the 14th to Brian Adams, Julio De Niro, and Lita, everybody's favorite lover of cock. Happy birthday on the 15th to Trick Davis and to Volk Hahn. Happy birthday on the 16th to Joe Doring, Paul London, and George the Animal Steel. Happy birthday on the 17th to the one and only Asia, also the one and only Nails, and rest in peace, the one and only, true one and only, Roddy Piper. Happy birthday on the 18th to Universo 2000, and happy birthday on the 19th to Johnny Storm, Katrina of Lucha Underground fame, and Nikki Rocks. With 2 X's. A lot of weird spellings today on the birthdays.
And now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with Omega BR.
Yes, this week in wrestling history, circa 1909, Walter Willoughby defeats Ed Atherton for the World Middleweight title in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Jump to 1947, where Tarzan Lopez defeats Black Guzman to win the Mexican National Light Heavyweight title, beginning Lopez's second reign and ending Guzman's second as well. And in 1980, the Wild Samoans defeat Ivan Putski and Tito Santana for the WWF World Tag Team title in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And that was this week in wrestling history.
Yankum's trying to say something. It's kind of cute because he's got his mic down and we can't hear him at all. No, buddy, we still can't hear you. Nope, not now. All right. Happy trails. Somber happy trails to the family of Blackjack Mulligan, who passed away this week at a ripe old age of 73. And happy trails to WWE Creative, who wanted to say that Shane McMahon returned running Raw due to excellent ratings last week, but they were nothing special. So instead, they said it was due to social media response.
When you have to change those gimmicks at the exact last minute, WWE Creative. Why? Just because.
More like Vince's mind .exe has stopped working. Please restart program.
Or started working.
Oh, dear Jesus. NJ's original gimmick name was I'm a Putski. I just wanted everybody to realize that. What do we watch this week in wrestling? Croc.
Go ahead and watch the main event for Invasion Attack, Okada versus Naito. That was a fucking amazing match, and good shit.
Man, oh man. Is Naito fucking over or what?
Damn right he is. Fucking ignorant.
For good reason. For good reason.
Jester?
Number 1.
Well, I'm going to put up AJ versus Sammy last night from Raw for 2 reasons. One, excellent match that took more than at least 2 or 3 segments, which is rare that a Raw goes over different segments on a show. But that was the time I think I got banned from Woo, so I was paying more attention to the TV show than I was the actual board.
Who got banned from Woo?
People were being dicks, and they egged me on, and I was a little dickish back, so there you go.
Way to go, you dummy. Vassar, what should we? I will put the blame squarely on you, and
I know you would, despite the facts.
Vassar, what should we watch this week in wrestling? Yankum's already said, by the way, Shinsuke versus Zayn. He says for the next 6 months that's what this is going to be picked.
Yeah, that's a good choice, but I'm going to go with, oddly enough, Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt versus Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio, because Bray Wyatt can still put on a hell of a match if he has the right partner, and so can Roman.
It's a shame that Luke is out for so long, because him and Luke are really gel well together.
Oh, yeah.
Dog, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
You should watch also from the Invasion Attack pay-per-view for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, a fucking classic match between Kushida and Will Ospreay. It's literally Assassin's Creed versus Back to the Future.
Omega BR, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
How about Claudio Castagnoli versus Ricochet from the Battle of Los Angeles, PWG, in 2010. Ricochet getting a lot of looks, apparently, from WWE, although I hear he won't be, I think he said he won't be competing in the Global Cruiserweight Series, rather he'll be in New Japan's Best of the Super Juniors.
Trying to defend his title, of course. And this week I'm going to actually tell you guys to watch Shibata versus Tenzan from the Invasion Attack show for the Neverweight title. Because Shibata do. Because the Shibata kicks. And the Shibata strikes.
Wrestling Nagata next, right?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, Nagata came out after that, and they're scheduled for the next event, which is the end of this month.
Wrestling Dontaku, right?
Yeah, there's Dontaku, and then there's one before it where they have a couple of matches. I don't know which one it is.
But, yeah, that whole show was great. It was this past Saturday night. Go check it out online. And go subscribe to NGPW World, because, yeah, it's a really good service.
Also, world famous Yoshitatsu was back in the ring, and he re-debuted on that show as well, which is really cool to see him back. And he was moving well. It was fun.
Hopefully he doesn't take another Styles clash.
Well, first,
about
I
to say
doubt
that.
would happen, but second of all, we'll just have to do without his golden oratory when it comes to Matt Stryker doing commentary from now on.
Oh my god, I really want to put a golden oratory on your fucking head.
Say what? That sounds a little bit sexual. I think we better move on.
No, ew, gross. What? Alright, we're done. That's it. Thank y'all for listening. This has been episode 203 of Smark Snark. Like, check us out online, smarksnark.com. Spreaker.com/SmarkSnark is where we're broadcasting from. We got a SoundCloud. We got a Twitter. We got a Facebook. All at Smark Snark. You can just Google it. You'll find it. Trust me. Smarksnark.com will have all that information, too. Yankum keeps poking me, which is really annoying. Let's see here. You can give us a call. 812-408-9666 or 812-408-WOO! Usually you'd be able to call in during the show, but tonight you're not able to because Yank was not at his Skype. So there you go. Beyond that, thank y'all for listening. We appreciate it very much. Much like Zack Ryder's Intercontinental Championship reign, this podcast is over just as quickly. So thank y'all for listening, and for everybody here, thank you. So we wish you well in your past, present, and future endeavors. No banter? Really?
I am reliable as the northern wind.
Watch Ricochet and Seidel versus Roppongi Vice as well. That was a kick-ass match.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Brentwood.